So the torque spec is 194 inch-pounds or 22 Newton meters. Let's torque them. Third one's gonna be a little tricky. I'm just gonna alright. We're torque to spec. There's a dial pin right here. So make sure that's you're using that as a reference. So, and it goes in this pin right here. Okay, the 12 ones go in here, and you torque them to spec. I'm going to do the bottom one. No, this side. So one gonna be 10. These are 12. Okay, 22 Newton meter for these guys as well. Try not to use extensions when I do torque. That kind of throws it off a little bit. Okay. So we're done putting that together. we'll put the intake manifold back together now, since we got everything torqued. And then for this one, it's going to be 11 foot-pounds for the intake manifold. I'm going to go ahead and throw the oil filter housing back in. Gotta clean this up. And then put the gaskets back on. This goes back in here. I really don't like this oil being here, so I'm going to try to dump some of it out. Oops. Yeah, that's better. Alright, now put this guy back. Very important that you get this seated right before you torque it. That way it doesn't come apart on you like that. Put a dab of silicone in there. And we got it's a 13 millimeter that I took off earlier. Time to work with no gloves. This is when I say if you don't get dirty, stuff doesn't get done. Like what Eric the car guy says, stay dirty. You kind of want to stay dirty with these jobs. From my experience, if you don't get dirty, you just shit doesn't get done. So now we're gonna use the friend here and put a short 13. Actually, deep 13 will work too. And we'll set it up like that. So when I took this off, it wasn't that tight, so I'm gonna leave it just not that much tight. And then we're gonna put this hose back in here. Just replaced this hose for this guy not too long ago. Tying up the oil filter housing. And then we'll tie in these guys to 11 foot-pounds. I think that's 132. I'm gonna check that out. And then we'll just put the intake manifold back in, oil filter housing, the cabin air filter housing, and should be done. So 1490 is in Newton meters, and I think for those who want the inch pounds, it's gonna be 132. First I'm gonna run them down, just snug them down, and then we'll torque them. To make life way easier, just put a paper towel and then the nut, and we'll not go nowhere. You're probably gonna see this car again for walnut blasting. I have the 5 series walnut blasting. I'd like to do this one. We'll see if he wants to do it. I'll put them in. Okay. Last one. Alright, one more. Okay, now we're talking to 1490 or 132 inch pounds. Using a deep socket. You need an extension of that. Alright, so now we got all of them torqued spec. We're going to put the oil filter switch, oil pressure switch back in, and then we'll put the air duct in for the intake manifold, Okay, now we're gonna put this guy in. I think you can see what I'm doing, hopefully. And this guy, T30. And then we'll start and see. I gotta torque this T30 here, put the oil filter housing, air filter housing. Okay, we got that in. And then we're going to put the air filter housing, and we are done. Okay, so we're going to put the oil, I keep saying oil, the air filter housing. Seriously. Stupid. I don't want to say that anymore. No more oil. Fuck. Yeah. Okay. You just push it in. Get the clamp in the back. Flat screwdriver, 6mm, whichever you prefer. And you gotta put these back in. Okay, now I'm gonna put the brake booster line. We're ready to start now. I'm gonna go ahead and start it and test the oil, make sure nothing is leaking. I'm gonna spray these pulleys with a little bit of brake clean. They got some oil on them. And then we'll go ahead and start it. I know we did a pretty good job. I don't think need to worry about any of this stuff. Yeah, looks like we're good. I'm gonna go ahead and start it and come back here and see what happens. Make sure everything is good, everything's clear. Yeah, looks good. Here we go. You see a little bit of smoke, that's fine, it's just the belt is slipping off a little bit. See, there's a little bit of smoke, but that will go away. see any oil leaks. This job is well done. I can call that well done. Now we're gonna go ahead and put all this stuff back in. Perhaps I can let it warm up a little bit, see how it does when it's warm. But I think it's gonna be just fine. I think we're gonna need to bleed the system. I don't see any coolant coming through here, so we might need to bleed the system. Everything looks fine, no lights or anything, as long as you just could put everything back where it belongs. So I'm just gonna get the rest of the oil, air filter, cabin air filter housing, and to put that together and go deliver the car. These are the old gaskets. They don't look that bad, but I saw some signs of like cracking. So I think it was either improperly installed or they just got too hot. So they probably put some kind of sealant, because those sealants that you buy at your local parts store, what they do is they soften the rubber, but if it's already deteriorated, it doesn't do that much work. And if you can focus here, I see cracks. The other one is same thing, like the walls are kind of burnt, so it's not necessarily that you see cracks or it's brittle, but sometimes it's just a little bit of damage on them causes leaks. So we put new ones on. It should last around 80,000 miles. That's how it is by that's spec by the factory. They're around 80,000 miles is when you need to replace them. Still looking good as far as leaks. Car is a little noisy, and that's because they have a bad, from what I'm listening, is the idler pulley. I'm going to go ahead and let them know about that. Idler pulley will need to be replaced. And yeah. So we did that. We put this part in. It's pretty easy, just push it in, and then I'm gonna put the sensors back in. On this side you have pretty sure this is I think the ambient sensor. Could be over here. And then we have on this side, on the 5 series, there's the hood sensor, but on these there's only this guy, which is the air quality. The cabin air quality sensor. So what that does, if you have any smoke outside of your car, it detects that if you put it on automatic mode. and it detects it, and what it does, it closes the vents so you don't inhale that smoke. It's pretty nice. I'm gonna do these guys next. Five millimeters. Filters, or the filter. Here's this one. All these are 8 millimeters. We're gonna put those on. So the fine threaded one, this one goes on to hold down the whole assembly, and they forgot what the other threaded ones, these guys, they're in these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So again, just hold it down first. These you don't need to torque on them too much. You just need to run them down, especially if you're using one of these drills. Wrong bolt. Last one, and then this guy right here. Once all that's done, I'm gonna go ahead. I like to clean my customers' engines, so we're gonna go ahead and do that. Just some degreaser and make it look pretty. I just need these two guys, one here and one over there. Okay, so just make sure this rubber things are holding this down. Same thing with this one. Goes in that way. Okay, that's done. Next I'm just gonna clean it up. Actually, there's one more thing. air scoop. I'm gonna bleed the system first and then we'll do the air scoop. Yeah, it's pretty clean now. No oil residue everywhere. Still purging. Here we go. Okay, so we purge the system from air and stuff. Now we're gonna put the air duct. Put the air duct back in. Super simple. Okay. Then you put these pins back in here. Put your T20 back in here. And that finishes the video for today. Make sure you're seated. All the hoses are in place. And we're good to go. So this is how you do the oil filter housing on an E92, E90. All the other E90s, the non-turbo ones, we have a non-turbo one here. I'm going to show you that. That is a little different. There's only one gasket. The 528s have the two gaskets. They are non-turbo, but they have same engine with a different oil filter housing setup. But they all take the same gasket, by the way. And when you do them, if it's an E90 non-turbo, there's a lot of room. See that? If it's turbo, it'll have a lot less room. So just take your time. Everybody can do the job. There isn't much to it. You just need to follow this step-by-step video. Have a lot of other videos on my channel. Check them out. If you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? This is Ryan, the BMW doctor. We're gonna go ahead and take it for a spin. We already ran it until it was hot and it was fine. So yeah, this is Ryan, the BMW doctor. See you guys next time.